All right. Hello, world, and welcome to another episode of With That Being Said, the podcast from the Brothers Blue. Today, we're going to be talking about anti-Semitism and its sort of infiltration of the modern American right wing. So, to get us started, I am Brother Kyle.
And I'm Brother Cody. And so the couple of resources that we're going to go over and that's actually what we're going to do, is we're going to look at the topic at hand, anti-Semitism growing in America, specifically in the conservative side of things. But the first resource that we want to talk about is this video by Leija Miller. And so hopefully you know who she is. She's a great YouTube content creator. She makes really awesome political stuff. The video that we're going to talk about is why conservatives hate George Soros. And so actually one real quick thing that I wanted to say is I do appreciate you sharing the article as well, because her video is all about George Soros, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the thing, and the article is primarily about another figure, and that's the thing is kind of the theme of both of the sources is that these people represent what is going on. Like, you can just tell their story, and it paints the broader picture of how anti-Semitism is happening here.
Yeah. These people and their story kind of makes me think of a point that I get to later, which is giving too much power to one person, but we'll get to that. Anyways, right at the beginning, she talks about, and this is my first note, is the game is reserved solely for them, injecting as much private billionaire money into politics, and that's the Republicans. And so this is what I will say, and actually it goes into my next note, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. The next note is that George Soros is worth $6.7 billion. Elon Musk spent $300 billion on getting Donald Trump elected. I know that that's what you put down maybe as his net worth, but that's how much he spent on the election this last time. And so the reason I know this is because in that same video, it talks about George Soros being the number one campaign donor, I think in 2022, at like 126. So he spent, yeah.
So I'm sorry, I have to correct you here because what you just said is entirely wrong. Because
you're right. Yep. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. What really happened is Elon Musk spent approximately 250 million trying to get Donald Trump elected in the most recent election, but his net worth is 300 plus a billion. And so, I'm not going to sit here and wax on numbers with you because you are the one person who has a concept of scale.
Right. And if I say something wrong, then I'll immediately admit it like I just did.
Exactly.
Right. So, really, and that's my thing, is ascribing this much power, and that's I'm getting through my notes pretty quickly, but attributing that much power to one person is absurd, especially when they try to do it to George Soros, because it's like, dude, do you know how many people are worth so much more and have so much more power than him? It's insane.
Yeah. No, and that's literally the numbers are there. It's all public record. They spend who spends the most on an election is most likely going to win.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so let's not rush through your notes. Your second note is about the Great Replacement Theory, because
Oh yeah.
yeah, I have more than a little to say about that one, because yeah, again, it's like I think it says Tucker Carlson. Yeah.
Get it together, dude.
No, I'm just okay. That's funny. No, I was looking at your notes, and so again, like the Great Replacement Theory is just like an anti-Semitic dog whistle, and it's unfortunate that like it has gotten like mainstream like credibility and just like representation, because again, it was like Tucker Carlson was like the biggest guy at Fox News, and then he went to X, and that's all other thing
Right.
like that we wanted to get to later.
So something that I also don't understand about this that I haven't told you, and it's kind of I don't know if it's topical or racist or whatever, but like this is my thing is like they talk about like George Soros as if he's like some like dark skinned like person trying to invade white Europe with a bunch of brown people. And it's like all the all the Jewish people I know are like white passing. Like all the Jewish people I know, like what, they have thick eyebrows and curly hair.
Yeah, I'm kind of it's unfortunate that I'm glad that you brought this up, because that's literally a point I wanted to make as well. Is yeah,
It's so crazy.
the white passing thing is that like literally every Jewish person I've met is like as white passing as we are. So yeah.
Exactly. And so, yeah, exactly. Like, even though we don't look Jewish, if we told somebody that we were, they probably would believe us.
Yeah. Well, and like our name, a lot of people have literally asked me if our last name is Jewish. So, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, again, the reason I like both resources is because they both talk about the replacement theory, and in the article it doubles down on the fact that like it's getting really big traction with like really big voices like Tucker Carlson and
Kyrie
Elon Musk.
Irving, Kanye West.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's that is a point I didn't put in our notes, but like that is the thing. It's like it's kind of weird that like there are some really prominent figures that are like saying some very like mask off anti-Semitic stuff. Not the dog whistles that I was talking about before.
So what I'm talking about is people literally think that Hispanics are being bussed in from the border to vote in democratic elections to elect Democrats. Like, people believe that. They think that's a true thing, and like it's just like, come on, man. Like,
That is the Great Replacement Theory, and it is an anti-Semitic dog whistle. Like the idea is that they're being shipped in by the Jews,
right.
So, like it's literally like what it all comes down to. And a point I kind of also wanted to make is that like I try to consume a lot of like
Can we
alternative or right wing media, and it just is unfortunate that like it always seems to fall down that rabbit hole of anti-Semitism.
Can we agree that that's more of the story for global immigration issues, like things that happen in like Hungary and the UK and stuff like that? Like,
Yeah,
I don't think that.
like Syrian refugees and
Yeah. So my point is the replacement theory, I think, goes beyond anti-Semitism. And yes, you and Leja are right and whatever. It's frequently used in that trope, but in my opinion, it's beyond that. Like, I don't think it's
like a nativist thing, like anti-immigration.
yeah, and so again, so like this is my thing is like, dude, the Soros international thing is like happening in Hungary, and it's like he's from Hungary and he looks like a white dude. So like why would this guy try to be infiltrating his own nation with a bunch of brown people? Like it
Yeah.
just doesn't make any fucking sense.
And her video talks about like the things he's doing in America, which are like like trying to get weed legalized and like pro-abortion, and it's like he's not. Yeah, sorry. I really, it's another one of these boogeyman that I really can't get on board with.
There we go. I did,
and I don't want to. Let's not do that one. But yeah,
no.
it's the same book. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't think George Soros is as bad as Tucker Carlson.
Or my thing is like, Tucker Carlson is a mouthpiece, and so money talks, and money is. So this is what I'm saying.
It's a rough.
George Soros is not as evil or influential as Elon Musk, and so yeah. One of my notes towards the end says Soros at least seems to be trying the right way, and like that's my thing is like these billionaires are just going to do what they have to. And actually, something that I was going to talk to you about is I've talked to you about the Walton family and how their obscene wealth rubs me the wrong way. And not only that's the thing is, dude, like Walmart controls like 30% of retail sales. So that's fucking insane.
That's huge. Yeah, that's crazy.
So one of the main Walmart heiresses is actually a huge donator to anti-Trump like causes. So yeah. So that's my thing is like, do I love the way she became a billionaire? No, but at least she's trying to spend it the way she should. Right.
Well, and I've told you about this, and this will probably reveal my bias, but I've literally been listening to NPR in the morning, and it'll say, brought to you by the Walton Foundation.
Oh, yeah. That's funny.
NPR.
That is hilarious to me.
Right? Yeah. Like, there's like just so many things going on there. Like, yeah.
So anyways, I think Soros is trying to do it the right way because the video talks about criminal justice reform by like hiring progressive judges and stuff like that, and also marijuana legalization, which is criminal justice reform. So yeah, and that's the thing is like I think he's putting his money into the right things every once in a while, but the biggest note that I would have, and that's right here, and this is what Leah says, is get money out of politics. And so like I'm going to once again look into how to run for public office and see if I can do it without money. But yeah, that's my thing is like get money out of politics and fix our tax code. We just need to increase corporate taxes, and that's all there is to it.
I was thinking about a bunch of like there are just so many things that like I feel like need a modern touch. And the two that I think this is random, but I think you might agree with is that like we need a minimum wage law that is like by region or state, but we also need like modern antitrust to like go after big tech and like
Sure.
Yeah, so like these are big, like lofty fucking ideas. Yeah.
Minimum wage should be tethered to something. That's my thing is minimum
we need
wage.
New minimum wage law, period. Like the fact that we just don't have a law about it since like forever is ridiculous.
Having it tethered to something on a state level would be even smarter. So that's what I'm saying. So
yeah,
that was minimum wage.
I was thinking, but yeah,
the minimum wage is a federal thing right now, right? Technically, And some states like skirt it, and they're like right to work states and shit like that, where you get paid
$2 an
$2.13
hour. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And so, so if you were to tether it to something by state, that would make even more sense, like inflation or productivity. Yeah,
Or like anything, like economic. The minimum wage should be tied to economic factors. Boom.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and like modern antitrust law is another thing that I think would impact the minimum wage thing is something that would affect like everyday people, and I feel like modern antitrust laws would really affect a lot of us as well. So I don't know.
I think we should talk more. I
Yeah.
think it would have a big effect on the technocratic oligarchy.
Yeah. It goes big into the techno feudalism thing. So yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Techno feudalism. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole different conversation. You're right. Before we end it, I want to talk about the article because the article was mostly about Elon Musk and his takeover of Twitter. And the idea is that like it's basically become a cesspool for the right wing, and that like and like you can incite violence and whatnot and all that, and that's not protected by the First Amendment. However, I am on the fringe opinion that Twitter or X is a private company and therefore is not,
Yes, totally.
subject to the amendments of the
This is
Constitution.
this is what I've said before.
And that's why Twitter X is what it is today.
And they're allowed to say whatever the fuck they want and platform whatever the fuck they want.
And that's why X is what it is today.
Because this is America.
Yep.
Oh man,
yeah.
that's great. So, anyways, the article is from
the Guardian.
Guardian? Yeah, the Guardian. So
it's actually really good.
Yeah, and actually I would recommend reading it. It's a little bit older, like it says here. It says more than a year old, but it's right-wing personalities who use X to bring anti-Semitic theories to light in the U.S. And so basically I would double down on what Kyle said in that it's basically talking about how, well, it brings up the replacement theory, which we talked about earlier. So it talks a lot about that, actually. That's like the main topic of the article. But it does also talk about how X has become a cesspool or a haven for extremist thought. And it's actually the only thing that I'll say that's kind of unfortunate is I'll never actually be able to say this for myself because I will never join X.
Yeah.
I just won't do it. I will never join X. So
that's my bias. That is my bias. I have and never will be on X. So yeah.
I will never join X. So whatever. And that's my thing too, is like I know people who talk about being on X and having used it and this, that, and the other. And it reinforces my beliefs that I don't want to be on it, but also kind of gives me an indicator as to who they are.
Well, sorry to jump past. And this I guess kind of goes into what you're saying, kind of like built on that, is that like we literally have the Twitter president.
Right. Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Like tweet or legislation by tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, whatever. It's pretty hard to not talk about it.
Kofifi. Do you remember Kofifi?
Oh my God. Kofifi.
That was a tweet.
That's some good stuff right there.
Twitter right there.
Yeah. X, you mean.
X, right. Twitter, X, whatever.
All right. So with that being said,
Knowledge is power.